Okay, hello dan selamat datang diucapkan kepada semua ke Your Voice, Our Future webinar. Thank you so much for investing your time with us today. Your Voice, Our Future adalah salah satu topik dalam perbincangan blueprint untuk memberi fokus kepada building and nurturing talents di Sabah melalui pelbagai inisiatif dan aktiviti, dan salah satu daripadanya adalah mengadakan sesi networking dan perkongsian yang berterusan seperti ini. Pusat Kreativiti Ekonomi dan Inovasi Sabah atau juga dikenali sebagai SINIK telah bergabung usaha bersama NGOs dan grassroots communities dalam menjayakan inisiatif ini. Pada masa yang sama, usaha ini juga berhasrat untuk menggabungkan pakar-pakar dalam setiap bidang untuk reach out kepada kita punya talents, termasuk juga talents di luar kawasan Kota Kinabalu, di luar kawasan bandar, iaitu di kawasan-kawasan pedalaman Sabah, dan diharapkan semua yang melibatkan diri dalam usaha ini akan bermanfaat melalui networking ini. So alright, dengan sedikit intro itu tadi, kita boleh mula sekarang. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all our viewers both on this platform dan juga kepada semua yang tengah join kami di FB Live. Saya Ernie Zaini, moderator anda untuk sesi yang amat bermakna ini, membawa topik yang sangat penting iaitu Jobless Youths on the Rise. Bersama saya malam ini, penonton semua bertuah kerana we have an amazing panel of speakers as you have seen in the introduction video, and it is with my greatest pleasure that I am present among these individuals who to me personally are among the most awesome people I have been fortunate enough to know. So kalau saya boleh berkongsi lah sedikit di luar tajuk ya, saya pertama kali berjumpa dengan kesemua panel speakers ini dalam satu sesi panel juga back in year 2018 dan pada sesi ini saya pada masa sesi itu juga saya moderator tapi yang memorable untuk kami semua adalah few days selepas forum itu kami telah menubuhkan satu community driven NGO iaitu Borneo Startups Community, juga dikenali sebagai BOSCO. So our vision is driving an entrepreneur minded startup community and to drive innovation dan juga creativity among entrepreneurs across all business stages. Kami semua terdiri daripada 5 individu, semua dari latar belakang kerja yang berbeza, dan seorang lagi yang tidak ada bersama kami di dalam visual ini adalah the wonderful Vivianti Serjuni yang saya pasti semua sudah kenal. And just like that, we have this wonderful friendship yang diikat erat dengan passion dan aspirasi kami bersama untuk menyumbang kepada negeri Sabah tidak kira di mana sejak kami berada. Okay, so let's start this awesome panel warmed up by a quick self-introduction. Dan saya menjemput mungkin kumbang kami yang seorang tu untuk memulakan sedikit introduction beliau. So Zack.
Alright, kumbang Thank you very much. So saya terbang lah ni. Okay. So nama saya Erwin Muhammad Daudke. Pleasure to be here. Just a quick sneak peek about myself is saya founder Youth of Labuan. Memang just nice lah because focus on the youth development. Also founder for North Borneo Film Infinity. Baru saja habis corporate video for KKIP Aerospace Training Center. Congratulations on them on the launching. And then also both these two is actually under company of Market Bless lah, which is tackle on the underprivileged youth in Borneo. So also co-founder Borneo, and I'm one of the sibling lah on the Food Lab. So yeah, pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Awesome, Zack. I'm glad to have you here. Banyak lagi nanti akan dikongsikan oleh Zack. So we move on to our next introduction. Jauh dari UK. We have our Bosco who has dia terbang dia punya wings all the way to UK, but she is still very close with us in Sabah. Close di dalam hati lah kan, Stella. So Stella, let's hear from you also.
Sure. Thank you, Ernie. Thank you so much for the introduction and for having me part of this webinar. I'm Stella Matilda. I'm the founder of Parents Avenue Sabah. I started Parents Avenue because of my first pregnancy and also the co-founding member of Bosco, and I'm currently working in the UK as a PR and marketing manager for an apprenticeship provider in the UK. Thank you, Ernie.
Wow, awesome. Stella, I cannot wait. I mean, I think we all cannot wait to hear from your experiences way there in the UK. So later we will hear more from Stella. And last but not least, kita punya madam ni, si Ani Rizwan. Maybe Ani, ni memang huru-hara sikit ni. We expect something. One grand introduction from her.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum semua. Selamat malam. Kalau selamat malam habis sudah kan? So, okay, good evening everybody. My name is Ani Muhammad Rizwan. I'm from Nuvis Sabah Training and Consultancy. I'm the founder of Nuvis. Nuvis is a skill training center. Okay, I also one of the co-founder Bosco. Yay! With all my beloved. So I think nanti lah kan yang lain-lain tu lagi. But of course, my part I will more into the skill training. Maybe what skill training can offer to the jobless youth, so-called. Alright, thanks.
Right, thank you very much, Ani and Stella dan juga Zach. Okay, so we bring back to kita punya audience the topic of today, ya, jobless youths on the rise. Okay, dan ini memang satu topik yang sangat penting. It has always been an important topic, tapi lebih merisaukan terutamanya sekarang. So baru-baru ini kita sekali lagi mendapat berita yang mendukacitakan that Sabah followed by Labuan, kalau tidak silap, ranks highest in the youth unemployment rate di Malaysia. Okay, so but I think before we continue, saya ingin menjemput Zack sebab dia ada sediakan satu pembentangan ringkas khas untuk semua penonton yang bersama kami malam ni, dan kami yakin perkongsian ini adalah sesuatu yang sangat menarik also to set the context of today's discussion. So Zack, I would hand over back to you. So we listen dulu daripada Zack, ya.
All right. Thank you so much, moderator. All right. It would be nice to share the link. Alrighty. So, okay. Before that, let's everybody goes to the same page supaya everybody understand before we touch the topic about unemployment youth. Let's talk about the general overview first in Sabah. Ada game, ada apa kan?
I think it's fine.
Oh, okay. So, okay, echo done. All right, let's talk about facts and figures first. I want to give a credit to my group, sit in the sit lah, because we do the Sabah challenge. They're preparing for me on this. First of all, okay, let's go to the overview. Okay, as Puan Moderator already mentioned earlier, yes, Sabah the highest poverty rate in Malaysia, 90.5%, which is quite huge numbers. And then some of the district, more than half of the population is very poor in the poverty rate. And then 69% willing to remain instead. This is for the graduate student done their studies. So meaning 3% are willing to go overseas or semanjung. And then Sabah also contribute the sixth largest contributor Malaysia GDP. And then, but it's only 70% of labor force. And that goes to the 60.3% on the formal employment. The rest is self-employed, and as well as 8.3% living with the donation, grant and subsidies. So that's how the situation right now in the 2020 based on the data, or 2019 from the statistic. Malaysian statistic. All right, moving on this, but just go through on this, so don't worry, we not go for the overall, but at least before we start the topic about youth unemployment, let's go on this stats, how important it is. All right, as you guys understand that for 46.8% the household living below 4,000 means most of us is most in Sabah living in the B40. All right, and then in Sabah, based on poverty line index, it's is very high in terms of cost of living. expect that for the seafood heaven. And then in as well as there are 37.4%, 2 in 5 rural households in Sabah live more than 9 kilometers away from sekolah, secondary school, compared to national rate 5.3. Um, Basically, it's quite far, quite a lot as well for the numbers, and 45%, meaning to say 446 out of the schools are categorized as poor condition in Sabah. All right, moving on. 1 in 10 children do not attend lower secondary schools. And the likelihood of boys is more on a dropout compared to the girls. And more than 50% children with a disability are not in school for both primary and secondary school. This is huge danger as well. 1 in 3 children drop out due to financial reason. Understandable, because Sabah one the poorest state, and the huge population of stateless children are the leading population to be out of schools. Best because there's no statistic, and it's not easy to get a statistic for Sabah, especially on the real time. That's why I just put here as a huge population. And talk about healthcare as well. Although Sabah is considered the second highest population in numbers of doctors, but it's one doctor equivalent to 865 patient, the ratio in 2018. Means we still need more of healthcare, especially doctors, and also the specialized as well. And then average for rural area is very far, about 30 minutes in the rural area to reach to the hospital, and also compared to the urban is 16.7. I know that in KK compared to KL, we don't have traffic jam much, but it's still far because of the, in the rural area, vast area in Sabah. So talk about internet. Okay, if anything happened to me or any of us, there's a 2.7%, coverage compared to the KL, right, on the fixed broadband. Again, it's only 80.4% cover in rural area compared to 0.8% in urban area. So internet play a vital role as well. Sometimes chips more. I'm using Unify as well. So Fly you use? I'm not sure why. Okay, aside with the joke, okay, let's go to the business. Okay, that we're talking about tonight about the youth unemployment. All right. So basically, compare in the 2019 and 2020, this increase. Okay, the data shows is before COVID on the 2019, and 2020 is during the COVID, especially the second wave. So it hit Sabah, especially the overall of unemployment rate to 8%, and then youth unemployment rate increased to 20%. So we consider this age between 15 to 24 years old. So it's more than almost double the national rate. And then when we look at the job seekers and job vacancy, the overall of Malaysia in 2020, the demand is the supply is more than the demand. However, for Sabah particularly, it's terbalik. It's opposite. The demand require a lot of people looking for job, but the supply is only 41,000. So there's a report from us, from me. Back to you, Puan Moderator. Later on, I will moving on the next slide about employment. But right now, let's talk about youth employment statistics. Thank you. Back to you.
Right, thanks so much, Zach. Betul-betul, I think though that brief presentation was really packed with facts, and maybe everyone can agree with me that these facts are quite alarming, kan? So I noticed something very interesting in Zach's presentation tadi berkenaan dengan the skills gap, kan? So these days we see or hear about students, ya kan, yang study very hard, then they graduate, lepas tu mereka cari kerja. Tapi malangnya mereka gagal. Okay, when it's already too late, they realize that what they have is a degree, which is just a piece of paper, rather than a set of skills. Dan pada masa yang sama, employers juga is having a hard time employing because youths come out of college ataupun university without the skills that they need. So this raises concerns about the purpose of education. Jadi mari kita mulakan kita punya conversation today on this note. Okay, in your opinion, saya mau tanyalah dengan panel, maybe we can start the discussion here. Adakah education ataupun pendidikan mencukupi sebagai persediaan untuk golongan belia ke arah masa depan yang lebih baik? And also, what do you think that the educators and perhaps the majikan, employers can do untuk membantu golongan ini memperolehi skills yang diperlukan di peringkat awal lagi? So I'll leave the floor to whoever would like to start. Maybe we can invite Ani first.
Unmute.
Banyak sudah dia cakap tu tadi. Unmute Ani.
I think. Okay, thank you very much, Madam. Why dia ada echo juga?
No, I think it's fine from here.
Really? Okay. Just now you were saying about graduan kita yang mungkin tidak ada skill, right?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Ada tapi skill set yang diperlukan dari majikan tu tiada. So that's why maybe juga menyumbang kepada kadar pengangguran kita.
Okey, sebenarnya dalam sistem pendidikan kita yang kita tahu sekarang, memang kita ada pendidikan macam biasa, kita ada from university, and then nowadays memang government pun daripada sebelum ni memang actively and aggressively promoting skill training, because why, macam our previous Perdana Menteri before pun memang bila kita pandang ke timur kan, kenapa Japan maju kerana dari segi kemahiran kan. So tidak mustahil juga kita mau ke arah ke sana di mana kita ingin melahirkan modal insan yang berketerampilan kemahiran yang cemerlang macam tu kan. So itulah di mana kalau dulu kemahiran ni dipandang sebagai satu pilihan kedua. Tapi nampaknya di zaman sekarang kemahiran sudah selari dengan pendidikan yang universiti semua tu, dan sebenarnya banyak effort daripada kerajaan untuk orang cakap mensamatarafkan antara universiti dengan pusat-pusat pendidikan vocational yang ada di negara Malaysia khasnya, agar semua belia-belia kita, we are talking about belia sekarang kan, for those yang mungkin kita tahu yang dorang ni ada yang tidak minat dengan akademik, so mungkin dorang boleh pilih ke arah kemahiran, right? So when menjawab kepada pertanyaan tadi tu, what happened is, macam now we are in Sabah, okay, what happened in Sabah, kita kekurangan industri besar. So bila dia, and then industri pula dia punya permintaan ni dia tidak match dengan pengeluaran graduan ke ataupun belia-belia kita ni, dia tidak match dengan kehendak industri. Sebab itu contoh dia macam saya sendiri penyedia latihan di bawah Jabatan Pengurusan Kemahiran, di mana JPK mempunyai satu program yang dinamakan Sistem Latihan Dual Nasional, di mana sistem ini dia mempunyai kerjasama antara pusat latihan dan industri, di mana obviously approach kami itu 80% berada di industri. So di sinilah kami sudah dapat sebenarnya dalam membuktikan daripada tahun 2005 sampai tahun 2020, daripada 2005 itu kita hanya melahirkan 70 sahaja penyertaan program sistem latihan tadi, dan akhirnya pada tahun 2020 kita sudah menjangkau ke 122,608 orang. Jadi dan alhamdulillah juga penyertaan daripada syarikat itu sendiri sangatlah overwhelming. Dari sana kita boleh dapat tahu yang kami sudah mampu mengeluarkan modal insan yang match dengan kehendak industri tadi.
What you're trying to say is the skills is not the issue here. It's the peluang untuk the skills di-attach ke mana-mana. Betul kan ni?
Ya, macam sekarang ni, I believe that dalam zaman sekarang kan kita nampak sebenarnya peluang banyak. Okay, in fact sampai ke tahap belia kita tidak tahu memilih sudah ke apa kan. Mungkin juga ada sentimen di mana dorang merasa dorang mesti bekerja dalam bidang yang dorang graduate tu. Tapi oleh kerana sorry to say manusia makin ramai kan, graduan pun setiap tahun makin ramai keluar. So apakah lagi selain daripada we don't want to pinpoint cakap kerajaan tidak membantu. Of course kerajaan banyak membantu. Okay, kalau cakap dari segi majikan, forget about pasal pandemik sekarang. I'm sure everybody knows majikan yang paling terkesan juga kan. So bila majikan gulung tikar, definitely pengangguran akan bertambah. Alright, so what about why not tiba masanya mungkin kita terpaksa lah sama ada kita feel offended atau tidak, but inilah hakikatnya yang sebenarnya peranan belia itu sendiri kena ubah persepsi itu. Diorang kena jangan terlampau memilih mungkin kan. Dan satu lagi dalam skill training ni antara kalau kami cakap macam subjek lah yang kita pelajari adalah social core value itu. So the core value ni lah yang akan menentukan sama ada kita ni boleh sukses atau tidak. Because I always say that sama ada you daripada bandar ke, kampung ke, educated ke, tidak ke, kaya ke, miskin, lelaki ke, perempuan ke kan. Tapi kalau you tidak ada attitude, your degree is just a piece of paper as you said just now kan. Amy kan. Jadi I think attitude tu because macam let's say saya ada degree, you pun ada degree kan. But saya ni sombong, angkuh, and then si Ernie very jenis bekerja sama, trusted. So itu akan membezakan. And then itulah rasanya kita mesti ada ke arah ke sana jugalah. Macam negara Jepun. Kenapa daripada orang bilang daripada sekolah rendah, orang dididik mengenai pendidikan moral terlebih dahulu, right? Itu yang kita kena looking at lah sekarang. Thank you.
Core values itu sangat penting di mana-mana. I think that's a very good point that you raised there. What about Stella? Maybe we go to Stella now for her thoughts on this.
Well, from my own experience, time saya form 4 kan, we've only got 3 different choices, which is commerce, perdagangan kan, or social science, or full science. So and I didn't get to choose when I was form 4. I was being straight put into social science, and I don't think I did really well in social science. And then after SPM, I went to Tower College, and my dad wanted me to do HR. So I think there's also the mentality of what your parents' punya expectation. Your dad might probably ask you to go and do accounting, but you actually don't want to do accounting. You don't want to have a degree in accounting. And a lot of people in the end are working on a role that are not the piece of paper that they come out with in the degree. So macam saya, I did social science, but do I do anything about social science? No. In the end, my dad asked me to do HR. Saya tidak buat HR juga. I was doing HR for a year, but I fell because there was a subject about accounting, which I can't do. So I'm terrible at accounting. And then last, saya buat masscom major in PR, and that's what I'm doing, and that's my passion, and I enjoy doing that ever since until today. So I think in terms of education, I think there's a lack of children and youth having to say what they want to do, because we are Asian in the end. Asian, they listen to the parents, what's best for you. Always selalu dengar ibu bapa kan. They don't really have the opportunity to say what they want to do. So by the time they finish their degree, and then they graduate with a degree, they might not even find a job that they like because they're not passionate in that degree that they have. So I think that's one of the main core challenge as well, because children didn't get to choose what they want to study from the start. So I think maybe it's something that we can look into, what actually leads to with youth unemployment as well. So that's personal experience. Ernie, you're on mute.
Oh, am I on mute? Am I still on mute?
No, you're fine now. Yeah.
I would say I was meluahkan my perasaan as an Asian, like all of us here kan. Itulah kalau dulu-dulu ni bukan jadi lawyer atau accountant atau doktor lah kan, yang paling pintar jadi doktor lah kan, then macam bagus jangan pergi belajar. I mean, it would be something alarming dulu-dulu lah kan, when suddenly you go to your parents and say, I want to be a chef, right? Or saya mau jadi a baker, or tukang jahit, things like that. That those kind of passionate things that people minat kan, minat orang kan, and now so many other different professions lah yang ada. So that's also very very good point by you, Stella. So Zack kali ada pandangan yang berbeza daripada Ani dan Stella that you can share with us on your opinion on this, Zack?
Tidak, saya spot on. I memang setuju sangat dengan Puan Ani dengan Stella as well. Macam saya contohnya Form 5, Form 4 and Form 5. And then, if you go to sekolah sains, you so-called budak pandai. And then bila you complete, I'm like, kenapa? Why I'm doing here again? End up I'm going into business punya education. Yeah, funny. Wasted a lot of wasted. So a lot of gap yang memang out. Okay, I know you guys maybe ketawa terbahak-bahak in the mute, yeah, but I know you guys would feel kan what I mean. Okay, talking about this, again, coming back again, I love a slide, I love about facts and figures. Is it okay to share the slide I'm preparing for this specific question as well? Maybe a quick one lah, we go through, yeah. Okay, let's talk about this on the report on the Sabah employment. Just a quick break. Based on the survey from the sabahjobs.com, right, on this, why the gap is there? Why is the gap, maybe the student salah pilih ka, or maybe the parents pressure ka, or maybe but based on the survey that they did, majority or more than half of the students prefer to work with the government. Play safe lah, I understand. Stable lah maybe kan. And then the rest maybe not so. So this is most of the statistic. And then most overall of this findings turn out like this. Like I said, it's more than half prefer to a government. Only 1 in 8 of students prefer. They prefer work in the SMEs. The others like NGO, small business. So basically, perhaps the more safer working in the government, perhaps. And then the point here, the sad part is the SMEs contribute a lot to the GDP of Malaysia. 99% is contribute on more than 920,000 of business establishment, and then it's actually 66.2% workforce contributing 522.1 billion. It's a lot, right? For the 38.3% GDP for Malaysia. So don't underestimate on this business SMEs. So again, based on the statistic, majority of them, they prefer and go into the job sector such as education, art, life science, and then very less in specialized career like engineering, manufacturing, processing, things like that. That's unfortunately. So this is the nature on the student part. And then most of the graduate, as you guys know, like Gen Y, Gen Z, perhaps, their number one top most important factors is actually job satisfaction, the purpose in life. So money is not the factor, the salary is not the factor. This is what they mentioned, right? And then job stability, again, why the reason they choose prefer more on the government side? Because of this location and flexibility. But unfortunately, the reality, whether they expect or not, majority of the graduate, they memang dapat 2,000, less than about between 2,000. I'll go to detail from SPM all the way to bachelor. So I'll briefly talk about that. And then the reality is actually, if they have working experience more than 5 years, actually the highest paid so-called at the moment, based on average, is actually the specialized career like electricity, SESBJ, gas, sempat lagi kan, air condition supply, things like that. This is the only M40. The rest is still considered B40, the average salary of in the mining, the gas, agriculture, fishing, and manufacture. It's still less, sadly, even though working more than 5 years. If luar negara memang kau tim sudah. Unfortunately, again, why not only talking about the unemployed, but also people who are working, we also need to look at that. Why, dorang one of the mangsa, they're actually not really happy. Imagine. So the top 4 reason is actually, again, we all know that the low salary, right? Almost half of it, 45%, is actually of the low salary. And then 25% is bad management. So this is good to send top management to do a upskill, training, team building, things like that, And then janganlah give lah reward, right? So this is the reason. Also, again, the top 4 is skill mismatch. 17%. It's quite a lot numbers, right? Other than the rest. Okay. So this one I agree to Puan Ani. She mentioned about the attitude. Yes, personality is actually company opinion to hire you. Yes, you. If you watch here this, if you are unemployed, yes, 70% is actually your personality. It's not because from your prestige school. It's not because your top, four flat, let's say, and all. It's actually first thing is actually the most important is your personality. On time, positive, good attitude. Yeah. Okay, remember I mentioned about 2,000 roughly. So here's the average. So right now, what happened to the fresh graduate right now, right? Diploma, the reality is actually from 1,000 to 1,005, and then the degree after study spending here and there for 2-3 years or 4 years if you're engineer, or 5 years if you're in civil. Good luck with that. Or 7 years if you the doctor is the different story. But the point here is if your degree 1,000 to 2,000 only. Okay, here's the reality fact. Right now, because of the supply is less, there's a lot of people looking for job. So the degree no choice to fight with the diploma holder. Their to let go their egos, just wanted to take the job, things like that. And then imagine people who are married, with this. I say good luck to you. I don't know how you survive. Even myself, I pun takut, if I have this kind of salary lah. Ketawa-ketawa you guys. Okay. So, before finishing on this is my last slide on this part is top trait, what the company love. You must be responsibility, all right? You need to be 28%. They say you need to be honest, integrity, and then loyal, right? And ambitious as well. Ambitious. So this is the most what the company want you. So for you to retrain your work as well. Yeah. Thank you. Back to you, Puan Moderator yang cantik, comel, molek.
Thank you, Zack. Angkat-angkat saja si Puan Moderator ni. Zack, mau tanya about just now your presentation too. Is the facts from Sabah case or is Malaysia as a whole? Hello? Saya Jem? Oh no, am I disconnected?
No, all good. Can you hear?
Okay, yes, I can. Trauma sikit ba pasal connection ni.
No problem. Welcome. So your question earlier about the job employment, is it?
Yeah, and also the skala gaji tadi tu kan, that looks a lot like the Sabah punya, right? More
memang
Sabah
punya.
kan?
Memang Sabah punya, yes.
Okay, that's very interesting, Zack. So, sekarang ni semua sudah nampak all those facts and very, very alarming kan. I think there's a lot to be done and a lot to be discussed juga berkenaan dengan topik ini. Alright, so I think we move on. I want to go back to Stella now. Mungkin in the meantime, Zack sama Ani boleh rest. Since mungkin si Stella ni her big move to the United Kingdom. I'm sure dia ada experience somewhat of a culture transition lah kan, yang kita boleh katakan dari segi relating to policies and systems in the employment field. Mungkin Stella boleh ceritakan sedikit sebab saya rasa we can all learn from what is going on in other parts of the world on your pengalaman di sana dan perhaps share with us about the current unemployment situation among youths in the UK.
Thanks, Ernie. There's an echo. Okay, it's better now. So in the UK, actually, we're having the same issue as in Malaysia. I think everywhere is very similar. We have a lot of degree graduates that also can't find a job. And that is why the government now focus a lot on apprenticeship. So the company that I'm working for right now, it's an apprenticeship provider, and we focus in health and social care and early years. So health and social care, it's more towards adult care Kalau di Malaysia tu, we would say macam a carer's role in an elderly home lah. So jaga orang tua, either jaga orang tua or disabled people, or disabled young people as well. So that's the apprenticeship that we're focusing, and then the other one is early years. So what the government focus on is because there's a lot of degree graduate, like I mentioned earlier, they graduate in a subject that they're not passionate about. And this is also maybe because pressure by parents, or maybe they have picked on the wrong course to do and then ended up can't find the job that they're looking for, or lost interest completely in the subject that they've graduated in. So apprenticeship is actually a really good opportunity. Apprenticeship is not just for young people, it's also for adult. But so those young macam graduate from with a degree, they could still do apprenticeship. So over here, the apprenticeship opens to youth, not just youth, as well as adult from 16 years old onwards. So in apprenticeship, you will get you get paid, and then you get the qualification. So for example, if Ani is graduate in degree in economics, for example, and then she decided that, oh, I'm no longer interested in economics, but I want to take care of the elderly people, dia mau kerja di tempat orang tua lah. So she come on to an apprenticeship with no experience as a care worker. So she would start with a level 2 adult care. So over there, the adult care punya duration is about 12 months lah, but with endpoint assessment, probably around 14 to 16 months gitu. And then you will get a level 2 qualification, and it's a diploma in adult care. So that's it gives people opportunity to learn something different, but at the same time they get paid for it. So they're working and learning, and this is what the government in the UK is focusing. They focus on this so much that they also give incentive payment to employers who recruit apprentices. So sekarang ni macam for the past since COVID started, the government has giving incentive payment about £3,000 per new apprentice for each new apprentice that the company hire lah. So that's what we've been working on. We've been pushing the government punya scheme. Yeah. And it's great because you could see that the government is also trying to create jobs, but at the same time supporting the businesses, and people get out of employment and start working and just contributing back to the economy. It's just all a circle, isn't it?
Circle. So is this funded by the government or the employers?
It is the wages is paid by the business, the employee themselves, but the incentive payment is from the government, and then the apprenticeship training, which is the qualification, is paid by the government as well. So, for example, with the level 2 adult care, I'm just giving an example. The apprenticeship training fees is actually, let me just stick my info, £3,000. And that will be paid by the government. So the government will pay to the training provider 3,000 to make sure that the apprentice get the qualification and learning that they required for the level 2. I know that there are some apprenticeship program in Malaysia, but this is not the same as what the UK is doing, and it's really good. And the other thing that I would really like to share as well is the Kickstart scheme. So Kickstart scheme, it's another initiative by the UK government that just started recently. And basically what they do in Kickstart is that they are helping people who are the youth, especially just for the youth, a 6-month contract work placement with salary, basically to help youth to gain work experience. Also the same scenario, they might not be in the role that they graduate in, so at least they get to experience something different. And for that entire 6 months, the government will pay the salary of the Kickstart person for 6 months. So the business tidak payah bayar 1 sen pun. So it's something really good. And the government in the UK is putting out 2 billion as a budget to get this Kickstart scheme running to help people get back into jobs. So when they have that 6 months work experience in a field that they have no experience at all, but the government is supporting them, they're paying for their salary, and that help creates job opportunity. And then if you like that Kickstart person, you could offer them a permanent role after the 6 months when it's finished. So these are the two main program that I really like what the UK is doing. So maybe it's something that we could all try. It's not something that the government is not doing in Malaysia. Malaysia is already doing so much, but it's just how we could explore more and encourage more job creations.
That's a very interesting sharing. I think maybe Zach and Annie can also chip in if you like. But I see that from the UK perspective, maybe what do you think is the contributing success factor for those initiatives, Stella? Do you think it maybe the success from these programs and what motivates this success can also be something that we need to know about so that we can, see how that can best fit in Malaysia as well?
I think it has to do about job satisfaction. It's one of the things that Irwin presented earlier. It's about giving people opportunity to try something different. It can be a career progress. It can be a completely change of career. It's just about giving people opportunity to do what they're passionate in. Because like you say, if you're passionate in the work that you do, then you're more likely to stay and do a good job of it instead of just jumping around companies and then just performing poorly at work.
Thank you, Stella. It's real. The money is awesome. It's like whoa. It's not like they just bagi you cukup makan. They give you more than you enough. More sufficient.
Yeah.
So coming back, remind me during in Australia how they do is although it's not about the COVID time, it was before they graduate. They have this apprentice system. So before the graduate finish completing, I'm not talking about internship. I'm talking about apprentice. It's another different system, like buddy system or so-called apprentice system, whereby 6 months before they graduate, they will combine or pick dual any almost success business SMEs related to the career. So they bring in so that the student not only can use from the theory in the school, they also get the real job, real world, how it goes. And then these people, those business owner, they have these fresh ideas for the graduate as well, because they're sometimes very busy, they don't really up to date with the technology and so on. So both are a win-win situation. So yeah, it's a remind me of that. It's a very good system, but that apprentice system do not have the money incentive. So compared to the UK, yeah, it's much better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no. The incentive payment is just as part of the COVID-19 economy recovery. It's not going to be there for long. The latest one with the 3,000, I said, the ending for it is actually on this Thursday, 30th of September. So it's not going to be there forever. It's just because of COVID. But they do give out 1,000 if the person that you employ is vulnerable. So they could be a victim of abuse before, or maybe got some disability. So if you recruit them to be an apprentice, you get additional like a thank you from the government, for giving them a job. So it's quite good. I think the other thing that I would like to highlight as well, because the youth in Malaysia, the age is very different from in the UK. In the UK, youth is 16 to 24, and I think Malaysia is a bit different, isn't it?
Yes.
We have,
yeah.
18 to 24, and there's another one that's 18 to
So
34.
basically, last time, and then on the 2015, they changed it to 15 to 30 years old.
Yes.
But the survey that I did research earlier was different age also. So yeah, different people have
Saya
a different.
kira youth
But
lah,
currently, yeah, youth.
You're still youth, and we are all still youth, Cewa. Okay, I think that was very interesting. Both perspectives from Pani Stella dan juga Zach. I mean, learning from other places around the world, kan, something that's really worth putting thought into lah, kan. Very mind opening. Thank you very much for that sharing. So mungkin mana dah tahu yang mendengar di sini yang adalah policy makers yang mungkin boleh mempengaruhi lah, kan, policy makers into making a move, making a shift in how we do things. So now we cannot discuss. Yes, Madam Saya.
Okay, maybe interesting when we talk about apprentice study in the UK. And for your information, actually, Jabatan Pengurangan Kemahiran bekerjasama, dulu MLBK tahu, they call it MLBK, Majlis Latihan, with the German GMI, German Malaysia Institute. Okay, they went to German actually. Then what happened dari sana lah kita tahu what is apprentice program, and when they came back to Malaysia, then kita start the program yang saya cakap dari sistem latihan dual national. And for your information, SLDN ni dia masuk dalam national agenda tau. Okay, di mana salah satu, because memang kita sudah nampak yang most lacking yang unemployed unemployed graduate ni apa semua ni is because mass lacking in skill required by industry. Alright, and then kita kena tengok dari peredaran masa ke semasa tu apa industri yang tengah overwhelming. Macam kalau dulu tahun 1990, if you talk about ICT, mungkin what is ICT kan? Tapi now when you cakap ICT, aku rasa anak kau di rumah 5 tahun pun sudah tahu POMEP. So that's the apa orang bilang revolution lah orang cakap dalam teknologi. So what happened in Malaysia through Jabatan Pengurangan Kemahiran, di mana in the apprentice program we also awarded what we call Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia tahap level 1, 2 and 3, and then in level 4 we call it Diploma Kemahiran Malaysia, and level 5 is Diploma Lanjutan Kemahiran Malaysia. And during our previous PM also what happened, the SKM ni dia sudah sama tarafkan dengan akademik kita lah. That's the beauty. And then recently I think 2 years back when MQA macam kami cakap dia pinang JPK, and then what happened, these people from the SKM holder ni dia ada laluan untuk ke masuk universiti macam tu. But dalam SLDN punya program ni what happened, our approach SKM kita ada lebih 2,000 bidang pekerjaan yang sudah dipersijilkan. Banyak sangat Ernie, sangat-sangat banyak. Okay, 2,000. You can check from dsd.gov.my, di sana memang banyak bidang-bidang ni. Alright, memanglah you ada degree in engineering ke apa semua, but dalam kita punya NOS, National Occupancy Skill Standard, also kita ada juga ni bidang-bidang. Okay, dan di mana skill standard ni dibangunkan oleh pakar industri juga. So contohnya dalam tahap 2 kan, kalau dia ada credit hours apa semua 8 bulan. So dalam tempoh 8 bulan tu dalam program SLDN tadi 20 to 30% this pelajar dia akan belajar teori sahaja di pusat latihan, and then 70 to 80% dia orang akan belajar practical di dalam tu industri. So inilah yang kita cuba lari daripada cakap mismatch dengan industri ni, because they gonna learn the practical side according to the industry needs. So definitely that's why SLDN mampu membuktikan yang at the end of the kursus tu memang ramai kita punya perantis ni kena absorb dalam tu pekerjaan. Okay, so and then at the end of the day dorang akan dapat Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia. Okay, for the syarikat pula of course dorang akan diberi dia panggil tu taxable tu, dia orang tidak kena tax for doing this program. And then of course sebenarnya the idea is to help the majikan untuk mendapatkan pekerja mahir. Okay, macam let's say you mau buka kedai kan, kononlah si Erwin mau buka kedai bakery tapi dia tidak ada pekerja. So bila si Ernie datang, aku mau kerja tapi I cannot bake. Then si Erwin, kenapa it's okay, janji kau minat aku boleh ajar, right? So the scenario sebenarnya macam tu. Then si Ernie pun okay lah, forget about the degree, first I want to earn. Okay, sebagai graduan, kita pun semua graduan di sini. Kita tak boleh, sekarang ni memang betul pilihan banyak tapi manusia makin banyak. If you say you want to share the cake, aku rasa sampai you potong hancur pun you still susah mau dapat, semut pun tidak dapat. So you have to open your mind. Okay, I'm sure parents sekarang pun sudah tidak macam dulu lah skeptical, mesti mau kerja kerajaan kan. Dulu my parents pun macam tu juga, kalau boleh mesti kerja kerajaan. Tapi sekarang mungkin orang lebih terbuka because they know peluang tu memang banyak tapi manusia makin banyak. Siapa cepat dia dapat, orang bilang kan. So dia akan come back kepada attitude. So dalam program ni secara tidak langsung dia membantu itu majikan juga. Alright, and then of course Stella actually in Malaysia kita pun memang ada bagi allowance, tidaklah banyak macam you tu, 3,000, wow mati. Di sini alah mau mention kan kena marah saya nanti. Tapi sebenarnya alhamdulillah lah kan kita kena bayar RM500 sebulan dalam tempoh 8 bulan. Hello, cukup okey kan 500 kan for scratch yang tidak ada apa-apa, dan kebanyakan student kita memang ramai jugalah yang jobless, graduan menganggur, drop out students pun ramai, single mother. And then yang paling penting is macam let's say Erwin tadi dia mau ambil tukang buat kek tadi kan. So government sudah tolong bayar 500. So you top up. So tidak jadi macam government try to help the majikan juga, ini yang pekerja juga kan. And on top of that, kami sebagai pusat latihan also dibayar because we are doing the teori part tadi kan. Dan for information, SLDN ni dijalankan oleh pusat-pusat bertauliah yang diiktiraf oleh Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran lah, macam tu. Right?
Wow, awesome. Awesome betul kita punya speakers hari ni.
Just want to comment on the Puan Ani. Memang latihan memang well recognized lah. Especially for example in Australia kan, because I can study sana, that's why I know the skill. Kan last time kononnya mau migrate lah so-called. Joking. Okay, so one of the requirement, I mean hot selling not only account during my time was saloon, hair saloon. If you are very good in filming, so also easily to get hiring and so on. So yes, jangan pandang rendah dengan tahap 1 hingga tahap 3. Just want to.
Even though tukang penting, I tell you.
Yes. You admit. Yeah.
After orang completed orang punya SKM 3 that day kan, I think ada berapa 7 orang. They went to Melbourne and they earn, kalau convert duit kita is about 8,000. And dorang ni previously is a dropout student, 8,000 duit kita. Tapi yalah saya bilang di sana high cost living apa semua.
High cost of living.
Nah, and then eventually one of our student managed to open his own salon. And dia cakap, Puan, di sana kami kena bayar sewa pun seminggu sekali, gaji pun seminggu sekali, so interesting. But one thing for sure yang saya suka is about the sijil Kementerian Malaysia for information. Our sijil tu kan, dia punya logo sana tu is the dia punya jata kerajaan.
Yeah, negara. Yes.
Yeah, that means our sijil is not from NGO ke apa macam tu. So I asked them, hey, when you went to Melbourne, ada lagi one from di Sydney sekarang. When you went to Melbourne, the majikan macam mana lah dia interview, and then macam mana dia recognize our certificate. Dia cakap, when they said, you pernah ada attend any course ke before pas sekolah, then they show the SKM, then of course lah in skill kan, kenapa dia bukan macam yang akademik punya kan, you ada degree, okay, you boleh jadi pegawai gitu. Ini kau cakap you ada SKM 5 tapi kalau you tidak boleh perform, then that's it. So okay, then they ask nak suruh buat perform, then they can perform, then that's it. Memang alhamdulillah lah ada yang sudah balik. Okay, and then ada yang masih juga stay di sana, dorang masih seronok di sana. Alhamdulillah, we managed to prove that yang industry training ni sebenarnya ada orang cakap cannot be measured. Okay, if you want to talk about cannot be measured tu, please come with facts and figures lah, because we already proved that industry training ni memang berbaloi.
Memang make people employable kan, make people employable.
Skill memang penting.
Yes, betul. So maybe we move on to another topic yang memang betul-betul concerning at the moment. So kalau kita bercakap pasal unemployment ni, we cannot go without mentioning the impact from COVID-19 kan. Jadi cabaran yang sebelum ini dihadapi oleh belia menjadi semakin teruklah dalam situasi ini. Tapi persoalannya, dan ini saya mendapat soalan ini sebenarnya yang membuka saya punya my mind on this also was daripada panel sendiri. Persoalannya adalah mengapakah kadar pengangguran di kalangan belia tinggi walaupun sebelum COVID. And forward thinking, living with COVID, apakah yang kita boleh buat berbeza dari sebelum ini, mungkin dari pihak kerajaan, educators maupun majikan dalam perkara ini. So I leave it up to whoever would like to respond first. Oh, by the way, panel speakers, we have a lot of questions from kita punya audience, so we will be getting ready to answer them too, ya.
Habislah. Saya serahkan kepada Puan Ani untuk jawab ni, selalu suka hati.
baru mau tengok. Banyak ya. Kita seronok ya cakap sini. Ya, market.
Ya, pasal kadar pengangguran sebelum COVID lagi. So now it's getting worse. Okay, but what do you think was the actual, yang isu dia? Kenapakah even sebelum COVID pun kadar pengangguran memang tinggi?
Mungkin sebelum COVID because kita dalam comfort zone. Okay. So I always cakap dengan budak-budak saya, oh iyalah, even though you di kampung, you so-called bukan orang berkemampuan, tapi still di kampung, sungai, every time ada sungai ada ikan. You masuk hutan, you dapat sayur. Kalau di bandar, parit mana kita mau ceduk untuk ikan kan. So bila you terlampau lama dalam comfort zone, inilah jadi dia. And then you think you are graduan, ada degree, ada master, lagi lah, you can take your sweet time untuk cari kerja. Macamlah kerja tu cari. You sepatutnya cari dia kerja. So, saya memang sebagai majikan, saya pun seorang majikan, sudah 25 tahun dalam bidang ni. Saya tidak setujulah kalau cakap bilang majikan tidak menawarkan peluang pekerjaan. It's up to you. Kan, tepuk dada tanya selera. So, bila pandemik.
Sebab tidak boleh memilih lah.
Exactly. So, bila pandemik ni lagilah you tidak boleh memilih. Kan? Because jangankan orang kita, majikan pun macam saya pun satu minggu tengok dinding atap, what is this, macam, because kalau dulu being in the business sudah lama, tapi due to the economic recession, ini penyakit, kalau dulu economic recession, I still can go out cari duit, kerja, but ini penyakit, you pun tak nampak tu penyakit, so suddenly you blur. So kalau kita nampak during the pandemic, apa industri yang sangat-sangat meletup during this past 2 years. Yang saya tahu F&B and then dengan health, right? Okay, dengan
e-hailing also.
Apa dia?
E-hailing yang penghantaran, sending foods.
Yalah, tapi yang dia hantar tu is the food apa semua kan. Itu produk lah. But the services memang on e-hailing apa semua. Of course yang menyatukan semua ni is the technology lah. Itu yang kita suddenly digital marketing ni kebabum kan. Semua orang pun mau belajar, suddenly belajar mau macam masuk pasarkan produk di Shopee apa semua. Tapi again dia balik juga kepada attitude tadi. Kan sudah 2 years the God testing us, apa lagi yang you buat? You masih seronok di sana tunggu kan? Apalah nanti 2020 tu okay sudah ni. Do you aware that 2020 macam aku lupa 2020 tu sudah limpas.
sama
Kan?
Macam tidak jadi lah, macam tidak jadi.
Kan? Tahu sudah 2020 tu ada 3 bulan lagi kan? Oh pula kita 2020. So please lah kan, graduan di sana yang so-called menganggur ni, apa lagi yang you all mau? Sekarang memang government banyak membantu tahu, macam dalam program penjana kejayaan, keso kan. Memang banyak. Kursus-kursus pun banyak ditawarkan untuk meningkat menaik taraf dia punya skill ni, sama ada kita so cakap kalau in skill ni, in training, skill training kita cakap pre-skill, upskill and cross-skill. Okay, what is cross skill? Mungkin ada orang pernah dengar upskill and reskill, tapi cross skill ni is kalau macam dulu Ernie belajar baking, lepas ni si Ernie mau belajar menjahit. Because itulah kehendak semasa. Why must saya limitkan si Ernie untuk belajar di situ? Mungkin kalau dulu orang cakap, oh nanti kau tidak fokus. Betul? Kau tak boleh belajar dua bidang, nanti kau tak fokus. Masalah dari sekarang, dia fokus mau hidup sekarang. So apa yang kita try to buat ni is to earn and to live to earn, gitu tak? Macam tu. Jadi do you have
survival lah. Survival.
Macam
juga COVID ni, even we are surviving COVID, dan apalagi dengan pekerjaan kan, with everything, we are surviving.
The pilot, even the stewardess, lepas tu jadi tukang masak lah, burger lah, apa dengan, and then for marketing dong pakai baju pilot, orang masak lagi kan. What happened? Kan? And yet you yang memang tiada apa-apa, just ada degree saja apa semua, macam kau pula bos kan? Tak boleh lah. Kan? Jadi kena change lah. I always cakap pasal about attitude ni, mesti kena change lah, tak boleh lah kan. Bukan kau satu orang yang grad kan, setiap tahun berpuluh ribu orang grad. Macam dulu my kids, my son, I force itu main force lah. I said you must learn. Since saya mengajar budak gunting rambut, I said you must learn gunting rambut. Dia cakap, Ma, I'm not going to be a hairstylist. No, I'm not forced you to suruh you kerja jadi hairstylist, but I want you to earn to gunting rambut orang you do di university and you earn your university life. I'm not going to give you money 1,000, 2,000 a month for you to enjoy with your girlfriend or whatsoever to buy you punya credit.
Ini kali lah mama satu ni.
Kan? Because you know, you want to make sure your kids learn the hard part. You know, because you must remember, if I'm not around anymore, who's going to pelihara anak saya kalau semua pun yang spoon feed ni susah lah. Alright, panjang pula cerita. Okay.
No, I agree with that, Annie. It's all about positive reinforcement, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay, we have can you hear me? We have a question. Maybe kita boleh start menjawab soalan lah daripada kita punya penonton. Question from Facebook by McTryan. Did I say that right? McTryan Jupiter. So the question is, with the rapidly evolving post-pandemic economy, many companies are shifting towards digitalization of businesses. In fact, Malaysia's proportion of digital job listing growth is almost half of the global trend. It's a huge opportunity since recruitment is now broader, boundless, and borderless. Okay, so maybe we can ask Stella for her opinion on this question. Yang lain pun boleh.
Yeah,
chip in.
absolutely. I think there's a continue here, but looking at the shockingly set level of infrastructure, especially in the internet coverage, do you think Sabah is ready to leverage on the internet to tackle unemployment issues in Sabah? What is the state government's plan to ensure that Sabahans and the youth particularly are equipped with pros and support and infrastructures to be part of digital economy? Right. Okay. I like the bit where he is it a he or she? Mention about broader, boundless, and borderless. Yes. If you look at jobs, just Google online for jobs, depending on what role you're looking at. If you're looking at like copywriter jobs, graphic design, anything that is digital based job, I think you can easily work anywhere for any company in anywhere in the world. Macam Fiverr, for example, if you're a graphic designer, you could open an account in Fiverr, and then sell your service. That is still a job for you, and you could get jobs from anyone in around the world, and you get paid in USD. In terms of the question, when you talk about Sabah internet coverage, it is still a joke until today about internet in Sabah. It is a joke. I have no idea what's going on in terms of internet. I mean, we have the technology, we have the people that are capable to put up more poles, more of the tiang internet, so that everybody can get internet. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe we're not ready. Maybe we need the right people to go in and push the company to set up the internet there. I don't know. It is a question we are all asking as well. I think that's why we're having this conversation today.
Just follow up on that, Stella. I read so many article news. One of it, in order to know how much the educate out of the country is based on their internet speed, because internet, there's a vast of resource that learn as well. So especially nowadays, skills more important rather than the degree and master and so on, right? Especially like Elon Musk mentioned about it. And in fact, yes, Stella, I hope that we're gonna talk later on about Rancangan Malaysia, 12 RMK 12. So the PM did mention that today that government gonna spend about 15 billion to put up in for the 5G nationwide. So I hope that they also focus on the Sabah, Sarawak, or Labuan as well, because like chips more here. So really I hope that they really tekankan lah for those young policy makers, especially on the state government level. Please maybe have a look on this website. It's so important on this. back to you. Anyone?
Actually, terimalah realiti yang bahawasanya Sabah dari segi itu memang kita masih ketinggalan. Dalam keadaan geografi kita lagi bergunung ganang kan. Macam baru-baru ni kita malar pula banjir lagi lah teruk internet kita. Terimalah hakikatnya. But it doesn't mean the government tidak ambil inisiatif. Macam tadi Irwin cakap memang billion money going to be pumped to at least maybe tidak pun solve 100% but reduce lah kan. But again macam contoh dia, I have one student from Paitan. You know where is Paitan, Stella? Saya pun macam where is Paitan?
Very ulu tu.
Ulu sangat kan. Lepas tu dia jalan pun jalan kayu balak, sudah gravel kan, another 2 hours. And then actually the father called me and they came all the way from Paitan to KK. And then first thing I asked lah, where did you get my number? Where did you get my about my kursus apa semua? Dia cakap, oh daripada Facebook. Wow, Facebook sampai Python itu internet lah maksudnya kan. And then what happened? Okay, enroll apa semua, and until today they can follow my class online, no? And skill ni mau belajar online bukannya senang. So what I mean is, ya memang betul macam tadi saya cakap, reality dia memang amat pahit, yang mengatakan even saya tinggal di Kingfisher sekalipun, kadang-kadang internet kami macam now you see, now you don't. Walaupun saya pakai Unify, aku tak tahu mau pakai apa lagi. Tapi itulah hakikatnya. But kita tidak boleh menyalahkan mana-mana because we know that the initiative sudah ada. Cuma kita haraplah kan, macam Erwin cakap, please kan, it's only 2020 pun sudah gone, we're going to 2030. Yeah, we really hope that the implementation tu yang penting sekarang kan, orang bilang good on paper, not good in reality pun useless juga. So this is the time for us to sama-sama lah, come on lah, hello kan, not only kita kan, all the apa dia panggil tu, yang buat ni dasar semua tu, please kan, prove it that Sabah Malaysia boleh. Okay.
Bukan saja di Sabah ba, where I'm staying now in the UK kan, actually pun tiada internet ba. It's really hard to get internet. Macam sekarang my phone doesn't have reception. Both of my phone tiada reception to make calls, so I need to go on Wi-Fi calling. So it's not just Sabah. Yeah, it's all about.
we thought we're the only ones.
UK isn't as advanced as you think. It's not always greener on the other side of, people always think like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. Tapi tidak, actually, I think we are very much alike. We are facing the same issues here. Still in digital poverty, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and yet there's so much talk about, this digital era that we are supposed to move to. So, tapi I think macam Ani cakap tadi, it's a lot of planning and there's a lot of, money pumped in or planned to be pumped in. Tetapi implementation tu mungkin yang lambat lah for whatever reason lah kan. So the speed in which this is implemented will be very critical lah for both UK and Malaysia lah kan. All right, so I think we move on to the next question. I think we're going to try to answer everybody's questions, yeah? So question number 2, which is also from Facebook, one of our Facebook punya penonton hari ni, which is Al-Mizar Amil Hamza, okay? And the question is, how to change Sabahan's mentality, especially the parents, who are forcing their kids to work with the governments when there are many other routes that they can choose, i.e. private, running a business, or even a startup, or even their own startup. Okay, it's a very good question, but I rasa memang sudah kita ulas sedikit tadi. So maybe one of the panel speakers would like to answer this question.
Macam me as a parent, as a majikan, and also now as a trainer kan in skill, I believe that parents nowadays they are lebih open-minded sebenarnya. But again, ini because it happened to me before when I totally business-minded. So memang my father pula, and my father tidak tengok ni. My father pula yang jenis government punya kan. Dia tidak mau kalau boleh, okay? Dia tidak support. Oh my dad, sorry. Jangan tengok this cerita. So, but again, we have to prove to our parents, okay? Sebab, yalah dia sudah kasih sekolah, kau di sekolah rendah, sekolah menengah, universiti. And yet, dia cakap, mesti juga pergi universiti, pergi kerja kerajaan. Tapi kalau tidak ada kekosongan juga, Kan, kau sendirilah yang kena ada inisiatif untuk cari kerja and then cari skill lain and then start bagi duit to your parents instead of the parents you have to jaga kau siang malam pagi petang kan. So mentality parents tu mungkin boleh diubah daripada keyakinan kita untuk meyakinkan dorang yang you are worth it lah kan. Come on kan. The world sebenarnya masih besar, masih banyak peluang, but kau yang melimitkan peluang-peluang tadi. So that the parents at this condition, because sometimes the parents especially mungkin di kampung kan, orang tidak tahu perkembangan our development ke apa semua kan. Jadi we have to convince lah. Balik kepada individu tadi, attitude.
On my point of view, just a quick one to follow up. Perhaps leadership as well on the government sector as well as private sector or NGO or even the SE as well. Maybe play a vital role on this, and as well as the influencer so-called. Kalau boleh kan the icon person to go to this among the Sabahan perhaps among the local community so that they can look up into that and can ask any question the successful people so that they can sharing knowledge from there onwards. So not only it's influence to the parents, perhaps it also build a hero or heroine for the children as well, so they can start on the education and the primary level as well. So focus on that. And then yes, I mean we are different. My family is business-minded people, and none of us are government sector. So memang competitive punya mindset.
You are lucky lah kan.
Yeah, okay. I think we can see a lot of success stories juga lah kan in recent times di mana ni entrepreneurs and young business people have made it even at young age yang kalau kita kerja makan gaji sampai pension pun tidak akan begitu successful. So I think this is how times are changing lah kan. Estella, you wanted to say something?
No, I can't relate to that question at all. So, but my parents both are not in the government. My dad works for Malaysia Airlines his entire life, and when I told him that I want to work for Malaysia Airlines, he said no. So that's it.
Also lucky.
Yeah.
Also lucky. So I think this also relates to the next question lah. It's macam dari Facebook juga, tapi I think this person who asked memang confirm Sumandak sebab nama dia Vivianti. So the question is, what do you think the role parents nowadays should play in making sure their kids do things they have therefore to do things they love, okay, untuk macam mana mau menggalakkan anak-anak lah ni untuk do things, kejar passion, therefore will not fall into unemployment. Okay, related but a slightly different perspective. So maybe one of you would like to answer this.
That's a very good question, actually. Like I mentioned earlier about from SPM, so you don't get to choose what subject or which class you want to go to. Basically, the teacher, the school will select which stream you will go to. Like, for example, for me, it's the social science stream, but I have no passion in biology. I have no passion in chemistry or physics at all. And those are the subjects kan yang saya punya marking yang betul-betul teruk. My English, I got A, I've got like 4 or 5 A's. And then you could see D and E for my science subject. So what's the point kan? So I think in terms of and after that as well, when I went to KL to do my diploma to get my diploma, and my dad forced me, literally forcing me to do HR. I don't like HR. I really don't. But at that point, at the same time, I didn't know what I like. I thought I wanted to be a singer. I thought I wanted to be a pop star, Jadi Britney Spears konon. My mom always say, oh, if only you can do your exam as well as you could remember all the lyrics that you sing on Britney Spears, you do fine and you get a scholarship for uni or something. And I just laugh. I'm like, yeah, maybe I meant to be a singer the whole time. So I don't know. So yes, it's about nurturing your children. Find out what they like, because nobody knows your children better than yourself. You would know your children. What do they like? And don't be in denial that they might not like the things that you want them to do, because in the end they need to live their life. They need to be happy. If they're happy, they will be successful in whatever they do. And in terms of unemployment, I think parents have to start having more of an open mindset, nurture their children, be motivating, be encouraging. Take some orang putih approach way lah, I would say. Don't be too Asian. When I first became a mom myself, I was quite an Asian mom, to be honest, very, very Asian. I would try to set some things for my children to do, like Noah, for example, my youngest one. Sudah saya said, I think I want him to be a vet because there's a vet university in front of our house. He's going to go to that school. Then I realized, what am I doing? He might not want to be a doctor.
You're being
Sam,
Asian.
yeah, I'm being Asian. And then my daughter pula, my husband wanted my daughter to be an astronaut and keep on saying, oh, you need to be good at your physics, because that's what my husband wanted to be. Actually, he wanted to be an astronaut, so he's very good at his physics, but he can't be an astronaut because he's got some disability on his eyes, so they're not going to recruit him to be an astronaut. So he's teaching physics in a secondary school now, a lot of space stuff juga lah. So I think as parents, because I'm a parent myself, I have 2 kids, I feel like we sometimes forget that we need to help our children to be the best that they can be and to be the things that they want to be, not the things that we want them to be. So I think a lot of Asian parents fail to see that. That goes back to the question as well, that saying, parents are forcing their children to work in the government. I think it's just an Asian mentality. I think we really need to kasi relax sikit lah. I think, go orang putih a little bit, just a little bit, but, just let children do what they like and support their passion.
That's a very great message. Yang lain ada mau tambah? Before we move on to the next question.
Tipu lah kalau cakap parents dia tidak mau anak dia jadi doktor ke engineer ke apa kan. Correct? Kan?
Yeah.
Tapi at the end of the day, being a parents dalam dunia yang benda-benda itu boundless kan. So I think kita pun parents janganlah terlampau macam, sorry to say, kuno sangat kan. Kita pun kena expose dengan zaman moden sekarang. We have to be fair. Our time sudah terlepas, walaupun saya tak lama tua sangat, baru 50. But what I try to say, apatah lagi saya sekarang mengajar juga kan in skill. I believe at the end of the day, let them choose. Your duty is bagi dorang pendidikan, mungkin of course agama jangan dilupakan, and then let them decide their future, because at the end of the day, insyaAllah they know, eventually. Ada juga anak kau macam my son kan, I said, okay, you finish your SPM, then go what you want. Okay, number 1 they'll go for sport management, tapi tiada juga dia jadi sport management. Of course dulu dia orang sport, end up dia jadi hairstylist. And another one, I never force them to take a business study, but dia sendiri yang pilih, because eventually they can see from the parents also. And I always believe that, macam Stella cakap, biarlah menjadi orang putih sikit. Orang putih yang saya tengok dia selalu macam talk, talk as a friend macam gitu kan. Then brainstorm. Walaupun saya tidak nafikan, my son is watching now, saya memang agak macam, oh no, gitu-gitu juga. Tapi ada some point yang I really ask them to decide. Because I always I said, what happen if your parents is no more in this world? You're gonna decide your own. So let's practice from now.
That's how Asian families ugut their kids lah. Ya, cakap kalau dia tiada sudah.
Okay, so betul kan? Ikut yang baik kan?
Ikut yang baik. So next question. Okay, banyak lagi question, but we are almost running out of time, but we will go through very quickly. So the question is from YouTube by General Harvey. Okay, if I want to start earning money as a high school student, what should I consider doing to earn some money? Okay, that's a bit wide lah, subjective. So I don't know, Zach, maybe you want to try to answer this one?
Yes, like this, my nephew especially, still in the primary school, I already encourage them to learn learn about gig economy, in gig economy, like edit video, do a Photoshop, what logos, because in the end of the day, the client, they don't know who are the real creator, right? So because you are doing in gig economy, doing online selling here and there, so you just basically promoting about your brand, and people trust that brand, and then they become the client, and then so as a high school, I understand a lot. the era is like going to the TikTok lah, going to YouTube and so on. But it's actually there's a lot of other ways as well to earn money in the digital world. Yeah. But as a high school, again, back to your passion, it would be nice so that every time you wake up in the morning, you do the things and you don't feel bored and you earn something. So if your love account, maybe you try to learn the basic account. There's a lot of YouTube you can learn from there and then apply it and then try, go to fiverr.com, freelance.com, things like that. There's a lot of, yeah, you can try that as a high school. Yeah. Or even Facebook.
Wow,
That's.
thank you, Zach. I was just told by the organizer, sorry, ada menyampuk sikit lah sini kan, that if you don't mind, because we have a lot of questions, and then Zach ada lagi satu slide dia mau share perancangan RMK12 kan.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe we
Sure,
extend a few more minutes, maybe another 15 minutes if the rest of the panel speakers don't mind, because our audience is still with us dan setia bersama kita semua lah kan. So I'll go to the next question because I really like this one. Okay, it's from Vivianti again. Hi Vivianti, wherever you are. Okay, dia tanya macam mana kita mau retain bakat di Sabah. Okay, supaya jangan lari ataupun if they study luar, they will come back to Sabah.
Jadi robot sudah dia.
Jadi robot sudah, inilah kita. Sudah cak.
Okay, I'm back.
But kita continue saja. What was the question just now?
Okay, so where did I stop?
Macam
Who
mana
wants
kita mau retain
to
bakat
answer?
di Sabah? Jangan lari ataupun if they study luar, come back to Sabah and serve. Ini yang talent ni. Ask them to come back. Yeah,
I think
of
this is
course,
quite
with us.
interesting. Yeah. Sorry, Annie, you go on.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I think we have quite a long way to go because of when people start doing research on salary, for example, people will know, KL as a marketing, for example, is paying like 5 to 6K, for example. Tapi di KK kau dapat berapa? 1,500 saja. So people will leave. I think it has to do with the salary. If people have an expectation or commitment that they need to earn more money, it's quite difficult to stop them from leaving. In my case, it's different. I'm not coming here for a job opportunity. Saya bukannya migrate pergi UK sebab mau cari kerja baru, mau dapat gaji besar. No, it's not. I moved to the UK sebab saya punya laki. My laki, he's got some eye condition, a disability on his eyes that require NHS attention here in the UK. Sebab kalau in Malaysia, private, it costs too much. So that's why we moved back to the UK because of my husband now. But when I was in Malaysia, it is true, and that's the sad fact that Semenanjung Malaysia salary is higher. That's why people from Sabah is leaving. And how we're going to change that, I don't know.
Agree. We don't want to happen in the national level that unicorn lari to Singapore, for example, and a lot of talent become the minister of finance in different countries, for so-called, and we don't want that. So maybe pay attention on this, especially the policymaker or those who are influence leadership in the country. Thanks.
Kestabilan ekonomi dan politik memang akan menentukan.
Ani ada mau tambah?
Kestabilan ekonomi dan politik tu memang penting lah, mau tidak mau, suka tidak suka kan, because nowadays kita punya youth ni dia lebih terdedah tau dengan kita punya digital ni apa semua. So suka tidak suka kita kena terima hakikat. Okay, yang kestabilan dua ni adalah amat penting, dan macam Erwin cakap tadi, penggubal dasar tu kena macam mana pun dengarlah kita punya belia-belia ni kan, because after all dorang lah yang akan bakal mentadir kan. You must remember 18 tahun sudah boleh mengundi ni. So kena bagi dorang peluang lah kan.
Okay, thank you all. I don't know if my connection is stable yet. Is it stable? Can you hear me? Okay, I'll move on to the next question. Yeah, so sorry because I'm having a little bit of trouble here. Okay, the next question is from Said Yasir Al Hadi. Okay, put internet aside. Where can a Sabahan learn on developing new skills and new knowledge in order to grow? Okay, maksud dia mungkin platforms lah, learning platforms and so on kan? Zach is smiling. I think he has the answer to this. I think he can answer this question very well. You only have 2 minutes.
Okay. It's actually my colleague in the Seed Lab. Dia memang mau kasih kena. So yes. So you mute. You mute.
Macam it's directed to you.
I thought I can, pass to moving on. But okay, a quick one sajalah on my side. My point of view, especially the internet is like, drop and so on. I think would be nice ada if not about one-stop center, if not because of that, but it require a lot of budget. So would be nice ada buddy system, perhaps a buddy system whereby from time to time ada and then train them so in then one city, and then after that they can go back to their own punya community to retrain them. There's a couple of SE doing in this strategy as well in the rural area yang tidak ada masalah internet, but join competition and won as well. Just because, even though internet is not an issue, but if you have this kind of system like buddy system, can train, teach, and from the school level would be nice. So I hope I answer that. Back to moderator. Yeah.
Is it like a mentorship as well? Like macam buddy mentoring each other? Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
All right. We move on. Sorry, I have to rush this because we really want to hear on Zach's presentation and mungkin final words from the speakers as well later, kan? So we have another question from Derek Fernandez Daniel. Bagaimana mau educate belia-belia sekarang agar memilih digital skill yang banyak permintaan sekarang dan di masa akan datang? Thank you, dia bilang. So who would like to answer that?
I will. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Direk. I actually know Direk. He used to help me with my website at Parents Avenue, and he is really, really good in his digital skills. I think that's why his question on digital skills. So I think how can we educate the youngsters so that they choose digital? I think it's with giving the right support. Maybe they do not have a laptop, and that's good enough to discourage them from learning digital skills. I think those are some of the factors that people need to look into. I think everybody love digital, especially the new generation that we're in. They born in the digital era. They haven't seen a tape. The tape yang kita dengar radio, dengar music kan, Backstreet Boys in a tape. You have to press replay, stop, and then rewind to hear back the song. Now they are just all the click
we don't know. We don't know what you're talking about, Stella.
Apa cassette bahkan
we don't know what you're talking about, Stella. Just kidding.
Yeah, so I think the youngsters are in the right era already. They're already born into the digital era. I think the way for us to encourage them is to find out why wouldn't you choose digital skills, as one of a career to step into. Why wouldn't you? So if you ask the right question with this youngster, then we can help them and influence them and persuade them to get into the digital industry to work, because that's what we need. We're trying to move into the future instead of stepping back to the cassette world. So yeah.
It reminds me of something interesting that Jack Ma said. He said that if we want to train our kids or, send our kids for education, either send them to do something that is digitalized, involving digitalization, or something that can never be digitalized. Because anything in between, he said something like you cannot survive. So it's either those two extremes. Then they can be in a position, in a place.
Jadi robot cop lagi dia.
Yeah. Terminator.
Should we just move on to the next one?
Yes, we shall.
Irwin, would you like to lead?
While waiting Ernie to settle the connection, perhaps I can share the slide a bit before. Is it okay? Or we continue the question? Okay, cool. Just a quick one. I don't want everybody, tired. I want to you guys also update as well, especially to the youth. So the good news is about the Rancangan Malaysia ke-12 about for the youth. So this is our PM mentioned that kejayaan dan capai objektif serta matlamat banyak bergantung kepada kami semua. So the most important he highlight here terutama anak muda. Okay, berlandaskan semangat keluarga Malaysia. So as you guys can see, just a quick through on the especially on youth on this budget. And then average household, they are targeting to 10K in the 2025. Wow. So my point of view, if I'm not mistaken, in economic terms, they have to raise the average, So now let's say they have to increase the ceiling price, the salary, especially, above. I'm not sure whether our price will increase as well. I'm not sure. I hope, tidaklah. I hope they can control the inflation as well. So this is it's a good thing, and then I hope they know what they're doing. So and then economy growth gap to reduce in Central Sabah and Sarawak. This also sounds good. Yeah. And then government to develop ecosystem to support gig economy. This is the mention I keep repeating about 3 times. Gig economy. This is good as well, especially, yes, the internet connection. This is what I mentioned about 15 billion will be invested by private sector nationwide. I hope they're really private sector and for the Sabah as well. All right. I hope the MCMC also play a vital role, not just because of the internet coverage, but maybe impose on the the speed as well, the minimum speed. And Malaysia is one of the slowest in the ASEAN country as well. Yeah, in terms of internet speed. All right, and then moving on, the government to continue to reduce economic gap. Okay, which is good lah. Urban, this is Minister of Rural Area. Yes, please reduce this because Sabah has been long standing on the poverty. Do you guys remember those days? I still remember during 90s that everything free when you are in the school. You dapat baju free, seluar free, kasut free, dapat susu, strawberry. Yes, those glory era. You dapat pemadam, pencil lah, and also
Susu desa.
Susu desa. Oh my good days lah. But then what happened? Something need to do something about it lah. Back to the glory era. Okay, and then government to ensure, So this is the one thing that, as Puan Ani mentioned earlier about they can start already vote 18. So that's how the government really, really emphasize on the youth. All right, you are, future, you are leader country, you play a vital role on this. Okay, about finish on the slide whereby, this based on the plan, they're still moving on, so they're closing the gap, right? And then they're gonna spend this housing 500,000 affordable for B40 and M40, and lastly about again affordable rental improvements on. So that's the good news lah overall about rancangan. Back to you. I already prepared the recommendation. Shall we? This is like conclusion already. Should we go for this? Yes. All right. So on my part of the conclusion is this is the one I emphasize on today. This wonderful evening about apprenticeship program that I mentioned earlier. That I believe, based on my experience in Australia, they have very good buddy system. The rate of success is high. Success of the graduate student because they have this apprentice system or mentorship. And then the NGO and SE, would be nice that really emphasize on the policymaker, do the finalize on this so that I understand that MEDEC are taking a vital role on this. Hope they give a lot of SE empowerment, put a lot of budget because, SE not only they are doing business, they are also helping the community and the environment as well, the society and the environment. Right? And then talk about mobile partner would be because Sabah have a very, very vast area to cover, right? Remember about 9 kilometer between the school and the area and all, and hospital takes about 30 minutes and so on. But let's say about business or their survival, right, income. So not necessarily a food truck or maybe something. You can be a motorcycle, any vehicle that can help, especially in the rural area, would be nice, sufficient. And please continue the one village and one industry. Please have a look on different area. Can convert into agri-tourism afterwards when they have the success, example like in the agriculture. And last but not least, about the encourage on the gig economy. This again, yes, I understand those who yang dapat benefit is actually those yang have the online, but would be so great once they really implement this 5G so-called on the 2025. I mean, they really go for this lah, kan, all out. And then yeah, so with this tentative to long-standing youth unemployment issue will be generating job opportunity empowerment among youth and generating social economic development. That's from my side. Back to you, Puan Moderator. Yeah.
Okay, Zach, I hope my line is clear. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No? Oh, you can. All right, great. I'm sorry I couldn't hear much of that because of my connection. Welcome to Malaysia and also UK kan in this case kan. Okay, jadi thank you for your recommendation study too. I'm sure they were great, and I'm sure that those listening, whoever is involved, can actually take note and also escalate these recommendations where appropriate lah. Jadi mungkin kita menjemput lah, because I think this is coming towards the end of our session. We do not have time to answer any more questions, but maybe we can hear final notes from Stella dan juga Ani.
Is this the closing?
Unfortunately, it is. Unfortunately, we are.
Well, every good thing has to come to an end, isn't it? Well, so I just want to re-highlight, I think, and I think it would be really great that if the government could start looking into apprenticeship programs. I think they would be quite a good thing to help push on unemployment within youth. Also, to look at how do you define youth? Do you want to put it up to 40 years old? Because I think it's something that you might want to change, because 40 macam terlampau tua pula kan kalau 40.
No. They changed to 15 to 30 years old already. Yeah.
30. Okay. Yeah, that's fine then. So yeah, I just want to refocus on the apprenticeship program. I think it's a really great opportunity for people to either have a complete change of career or a career progression. Even better for people who has no opportunity to do a degree, because degree memang mahal and not many people have the brains for a degree, and apprenticeship would be quite a good route. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Stella. Ani, like we save you for the last.
Save the best for last. Okay. Bab pepatah carilah
Is it
ilmu
just
sampai
me
ke
or
negara Cina.
I can't hear Ani?
Nah,
Ada.
tak boleh dengar? Dengar?
Ada.
Ada. Ernie. Okay. Bab pepatah cakap carilah ilmu sampai ke negara China. Saya pun tak tahu kenapa pergi China, not UK. Alright. So, by the way, before that, saya kena sampaikan dia, Stella, my son, cakap, bagi tahu Stella, do you need barber in UK? Alright.
Yes, we do. There's lots of apprenticeship ongoing for barbers. So yeah, why not come over?
Alright. Nah, dengar tu Nash. Alright. So please consider a skill, okay? Because skill is something like we always say, lifelong learning. And then when we talk about skill, now we also emphasize on cross skill. Okay, bukanlah bermaksud apa yang you all belajar tu tidak boleh memberi faedah apa, tidak, but you must hidup dalam reality di mana keadaan sekarang agak susah, hopefully kita akan, selepas pandemik ni ekonomi kita akan beransur pulih, the government pun memang banyak membantu sudah. So please consider yourself untuk buka peluang, belajar lebih banyak lah untuk kita, apa tadi tu Ernie cakap, kita mau hidup dulu sekarang kan. Right, so please consider lah kemahiran-kemahiran yang lain yang mungkin boleh menjana pendapatan you all for the time being. In fact, I can tell you pendapatan tu lebih lumayan lah, insyaAllah. Macam tadi Erwin cakap, one of kita punya program yang sekarang kita aktif promoting is our mobilepreneur. When you talk about mobilepreneur ni memang banyak, okay, dia tidak terikat dengan our services kan, macam spa ke atau hairdressing ke apa semua. Tapi sebenarnya banyak lagi. Alright, please consider that. Thank you.
I forgot one slide.
Okay, don't worry. Go on. Please
Yes,
share.
last one.
It must be very important.
Very. Yeah, ta-da! So, sempat lagi marketing. But okay.
Wah, sempat ya.
With serious that next month 15 we're gonna do a soft launch. We go market blast on this. Basically they focus on the skills. For those who are interested, please sign in. There's a register form there. Please register and then we'll update you if you're interested on this. Basically, it's focused on the skills. Remember, we keep emphasize on skills. So let's say Puan Ani ada saloon, you put your price there, and then you can, people can get your service from there as well. So those yang pandai yang buat aircon, mechanic, repair, plumber, all those sort of things of like service can do as well. So yeah,
e-commerce kan, Isaac?
Yes, more on skills. So we're gonna do this. It's been like 2 years. Last year sudah masih cakap ni, apa dia keluar. But anyway,
tidak apa, it's okay. Yang penting sudah jadi.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Sempat lagi marketing. That's from me. Back to you, Puan yang
we would like to congratulate you, Zach, for your successful journey, and we would continue to support all those who have initiatives like this. Jadi jangan putus harapan biarpun lama, tidak apa. Yang penting akhirnya akan jadi sukses, kan, Zach? Well done.
Thank you.
You can hear me? Okay, so
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I would like to apologize to everybody for my internet connection. Dan malangnya kita sudah sampai di penghujung sesi hari ini. I think we have so much input that macam saya rasa 2 jam ni macam tidak cukup. I don't know if you guys agree or not. I think there's so much to be discussed on this topic. So many insights, so many opinions, so many questions keep coming in also. So maybe we can discuss on having other platforms where we can continue to discuss and address these issues. So saya bagi pihak all my friends from Borneo Startups Community ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Sine kerana menjemput kami untuk berkongsi malam ini. And thank you to these wonderful panel speakers. Seperti yang dijanjikan, they cannot stop talking. They still have much to say. So for next time, leave it for next time. Dan saya pasti perkongsian dan insights from all of you have benefited all our viewers today. Thank you also to our audience. We really appreciate your participation. So let's make sure that this is not the last time we meet. So contact any of us if you want to connect more and keep connecting. And last but not least, I would like to congratulate and thank to all the organizers, and a special mention, of course, to Vivianti, who is in the audience as well, and Mazri and his team. Mazri is the one with his team yang bekerja keras di belakang tabir to make sure that today's program is possible. Siap ada rehearsal lagi kami kan hari itu kan. Okay, so let's continue to collaborate through innovation for Sabah and for our nation. Thank you very much, everyone. Dari kami, Bosco. Stay safe. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.